Greetings! It's Helen Hartsmith here once again with
Cathy.
And we are on episode 401.
401.
Of the Heart of the Witch's Path podcast.
It's almost like we've been doing this for years.
Well. So, it is the latter part of the month of January.
Yes.
And it is
as we're recording this.
Right. And it is at this point in time when a young and medium and older witches
I'm young.
Thoughts turn towards
one thing.
And
one thing only.
And that is ConVocation. Cathy and I have talked about con for
4 years.
Easily with you guys.
Yes.
And it is drawing near quickly.
And we've been going for much longer. How old is Crystal's son? What, 14?
Oh my gosh. Shut your mouth. Is he really?
Isn't he the same age as one of my granddaughters?
I have no idea. Maybe. Crystal, tell us.
Yeah, Crystal, how old's your kid?
Oh.
14 or 15 years, I'm pretty sure.
We've gone that long?
Well, I have, because the first time I went, she was pregnant with the kid. And I don't want to name names in case Crystal doesn't want names.
Right.
But,
yeah, and I went a couple of years later.
I think the next year we talked you into going.
Yeah.
Or it might have been the year after.
Yeah, I think it was a couple of years. So, yes. So, thoughts are turning towards ConVocation. We are starting the preparation. The schedule is out. So, we know who's coming. We know classes. We know vital stuff.
Okay, so before we get to all that stuff, we have something very important to talk about.
What is that? It's time for the correspondence of the week. So, this episode, we are talking about black tourmaline.
Yes,
Cathy,
black tourmaline.
What do we use black tourmaline for?
Well, like all black or most black stones, it's good for absorbing energy, and black tourmaline also attracts inspiration, diminishes fear, promotes understanding, which is really good.
I thought that was a great choice.
Encourages self-confidence and balances yin and yang.
All amazing choices.
All very good choices for ConVocation.
And another good purpose for a black stone is grounding and protection.
Right.
So those are all some really spiffy things to use a black stone for. So we thought that would be we've talked about other black correspondences before.
Usually during the podcast where we talk about ConVocation.
Correct.
Right.
So that is our correspondence of the week. Okay, so literally, if you have watched videos, listened to podcasts, been with us in person, we highly encourage ConVocation.
Now, in case this is the first time you're hearing about it from us, ConVocation is a convention the last weekend in February in Dearborn, Michigan.
Yes. So it is a weekend of workshops and rituals and all kinds of super duper fun stuff.
Shopping, artwork.
Pagans take over a very large hotel in the Detroit area.
The Doubletree.
The Doubletree Hilton in Dearborn.
On Ford Road?
I think you're right.
I think it's Ford Road.
Yes, I believe you're right.
And we take mostly the hotel. We get weird looks on Thursday from the normals.
Right.
Yeah.
And whatever.
Yeah, it's fun.
But so it like we said, it starts Thursday afternoon. And I think it looks like they've added even more events on Thursday.
Yeah, they've got some evening events
that
they've never done before.
Right, so that's exciting. It's exciting to see something grow.
Yeah.
So all day Friday, all day Saturday, and then Sunday until about noon is when they do closing ceremony.
I think the last class is at like 2 or something.
Oh, so did they add something on Sunday as well?
I'm sorry. Noon. The last class is at noon.
Yeah,
and that's closing ceremony.
Yeah, that's pretty typical because they need to get out of there.
Right.
Basically. Right. So we talk about this every year, and we try to make it fresh.
We try
and try to make it all encompassing. So hopefully we we're successful in that.
It's just that we're so excited about this, and this is a big part of our life because this is something we all plan for.
Right.
We plan all year. We pre-register. We have everything set. We talk about it as a coven.
Right. More importantly, we go pretty
year.
much as a coven.
Yeah, most of us go every year.
Right. Right. So that it's a big yearly thing for us that we can do together and experience together. So we might not go to every class or anything like that, but it's the experience, and in the evenings then we spend time together.
Right. So at each class time there are a multitude of classes that you can go to. I don't know, there's 6 or 8 or 10 classrooms that you can go to.
Right.
So it's not like you're stuck with one lame class. The only downside to that is there's one time period where there's 3 different classes I would like to go to.
Yes, that's the only downside, is that scheduling conflicts with not being able to make everything you want.
Yeah. But on those occasions, sometimes we split up, and Helen will take one, and maybe Cornflower will take one, and I'll take one, and then we'll
swap.
We'll come back and swap notes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we try to be, sharing and all that kind of stuff. So, like I said, we have talked about this a lot. We could continue to talk about this a lot. So we're trying to put a capper on ourselves.
Yes, which was so hard.
Yes. We try, in a situation like this, we try to, each of us will take 5 items. And we'll talk about, I think we might have done this last year.
I don't know.
Where we talked about 5 things.
All I know is when I sat down to come up with 5 items, I was like, well, I can't do it. But I ended up paring it down to 6. But one isn't, I guess it is a class, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. So since you've got like an extra one, why don't you go ahead and start?
So I noticed this year, a few years ago, they had like a greeting the sun on Friday and Saturday morning, and then the person who was doing it stopped doing it because, of course, this is mostly volunteer.
Oh, right, because we went when it was at the old hotel.
Yeah. Well, they're doing it again. They're doing the morning devotion on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Nice.
At 9 o'clock. So it's 3 different ones, and I don't know that we'll make all of them, but it's great that they're doing it again because I really appreciated it when we did it before.
That was nice.
That's really my extra.
That's a nice kind of wake up to the morning type thing.
Yeah.
I'll admit to everyone that I have not just yet done a major dissection of the schedule. I don't like to do it. I don't like to do it I like to at least have a look through, but I'm going to admit I have only been through Friday, and I found lots of things going on that I'm super excited about. And I like to look at the schedule when we get there.
Yeah, and the reason for that is because if we set a schedule,
we'll change it.
We'll change it as soon as we get there.
Right. Picture it, you guys. Cathy and I get in our room. We have our 2 beds. We haul all of our crap up to this room, and we might put stuff away. We might put like food items away. We usually set up
the altar.
Yeah, we might put food items away because there's always like your dresser thingy that's in the room. So that is where all of our food is stored. And so we will usually set up the altar, and then once we've registered,
because you don't register
because you got to get your packet. You got to get your packet.
Right.
Let me tell you, when we hit that room with the packet in our hands, it ends up, we each flop on our bed.
We do.
Booklet in one hand, highlighter in the other. Ooh, what are we gonna do? So that's how we set up the schedule.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then it just goes from day to day because while there are a lot of big names or big to us names, there are a lot of people who are not. They're local people who do classes.
Right.
And some of them are very, very good.
Yes.
And some of them not so much.
Right. So, the fact that we've gone to this event so many years, there are names that stick with you.
Right.
So we know.
Oh, there's some this year that I'm really looking forward to that were here last year, but that was the first time they were here. So I'm really looking forward to seeing them again.
Definitely. Yeah. So, you learn the teachers whose flavor doesn't sit well with you.
Yes, that is very true. Because some of these people that we would never go to another class are popular with some of the subculture groups.
Right. And that's fine.
That's
if it
fine.
speaks to you, that's cool. But, you know, and likewise, I'm sure that there are some people that we love, that there are other longtime attendees that
Can't stand
don't
it.
like.
Yeah.
So to each his own.
Exactly.
It's all about,
Yep.
it's all about what?
It's all about your individual path and the
your
way that you walk it.
resonance.
And your
Yes.
sorry, I wasn't reading that.
You
It's
weren't
your
picking
resonance.
you weren't picking up what I was putting down.
No, I wasn't. But really, it is your resonance, because some people will resonate with you, and some people will just clash with your personality and your style. And,
Right. And that
your
doesn't
interests.
negate what they have to teach
No.
about what they know or whatever.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I'm going to share one from my
Okay.
list now. Okay.
What are we going to do if our lists are...
Pray.
Okay. Okay.
I'm very interested in the ritual that Storm Fairy Wolf is doing.
Okay, which one is that?
That is the Watchers of Fairy Tradition.
Oh, yeah. That kind of looked interesting. That was not on my list, but yeah.
Storm Fairy Wolf was at ConVocation last year, and I was really looking forward to seeing him and experiencing him, because the little blurb, he sounded very interesting, and he's kind of new to the scene as far as like a widespread. His
As
first
a speaker
book,
and an author.
his first book came out, which is called Betwixt and Between, which I picked up, and so I was really excited to get, to meet him and things like that. Unfortunately, I had a migraine during class. So
was that the meditation?
The meditation,
that we went to
yes.
together? Oh,
so the
that was
meditation
so
that
good.
followed, that was apparently great, that I couldn't participate in because my head was throbbing and I couldn't see. Well, not that the couldn't see was a bad thing,
but couldn't concentrate.
So Storm is a member of the fairy tradition, and by fairy, specifically the Blue Rose fairy tradition, and we're talking fairy as in Faeri, as in Cora and Victor Anderson, not Feri, which is another kind of fairy tradition. So it's this ritual is of course involving fairies and some fallen angels, and things like that. So according to the little blurb here, so I would like to experience that. I think I would like to see what kind of a ritual flavor he has,
Right.
and things like that. So that's intriguing to me.
Okay, before we continue, we should say that you can find the website at convocation.org.
Yes.
And you can see the schedule there. So I realize some of you are other countries or too far away to travel.
Right.
But if you wanted to check out the site, it's convocation.org.
Right. So that's my first kind of thing that I'm looking forward to.
So my first one is also during that time.
Oh, so you shan't be going to the ritual.
I shan't be going. Well, see, there's two that I'd like to do at this time other than that ritual. But
okay.
One of them is there's a tarot intensive, which is actually technically 2 classes. Mm-hmm. There's one this night, and there's another on
Must be Friday or something.
Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
So it's one part is doing the minor arcana, and the other one is doing the major arcana.
And I think Michelle's interested in that.
She is
class.
interested,
Yeah.
and I am interested because I started doing a Instagram challenge on January Tarot, which has encouraged me to pick up my tarot cards and to actually use them, which is really interesting.
Right.
This is going to go long. You just need to...
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Stop checking the time.
Well,
It's
no,
gonna go long.
I like to always also make sure that we're recording correctly.
Yeah. So that has made me interested in doing this tarot.
Oh, cool. Yeah, nifty. So that's your second one?
That's my... well, let's see. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It could be my second one if you count the morning devotionals as my first one.
Okay. Okay. So my next one is I'm really looking forward to seeing Lucille.
What?
Lucille is the Notions, Potions, and Potions lady.
Yes, Lucille.
So Lucille,
she's awesome.
Lucille is a super great lady. Lotions, Potions, and Notions is her business, and she crafts natural healing products.
So she
such
grows
as
the herbs, or she wildcrafts the herbs.
Right, and so she creates tinctures, she creates salves. She also does some stuff like some gourds. She makes some gourd rattles, and
Oils.
the kitty crack is
The
apparently
kitty crack.
Right. So,
Oh my gosh, yes.
she was in the vendor room for years and years and years, and then I'm not sure what happened, but she's not in there
Politics.
anymore. So she's the last few years since she's not in the vendor room, she has contacted.
She has a Facebook group, Lotions,
Right.
Potions, and Notions. If
and
you're
so
interested,
she,
look her up.
yeah, I'll put links in the because she also has a website. So she contacts us to say, hey, is there anything that you want me to bring? And normally I'm okay, but this year I'm low on some things.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I put in a pretty big order too.
Yeah, so I'm excited.
And she's awesome. She's willing to do custom orders if you have a question, because she did one for me last year.
And she did one for me this year.
Yeah,
I'm
see? There we
really
go.
excited.
Yeah, she's awesome.
So I'm excited to get that from her and see her. And she's
Okay.
teaching this year. So
Yes, I did not find her class on my list of stuff to do, but I might end up going to it anyway, because that's just how we roll.
Right.
Right. So my third one is Ellen Dugan,
Okay.
who is pretty awesome, but sometimes, well, you have to be a Virgo to really like her, or Joy, or Cornflower. She is doing a class on protection magic for everyone. So that looks really good for me. And let me see if I can find it. And oh crap, I just had what time it was too. It is Friday morning, so I should be able to find the description. How to be a magical badass. Oh, I just lost it. Crap. Technical difficulties. Really? I'm sorry, my iPad is not being cooperative. So it's basically, did you get sloppy with your personal protection? Were you complacent? Here's what you need to do to get shit back in order. And she talks about stuff from classical witchcraft to angel magic, hoodoo, and just a lot of protection stuff. And I like that. And so that is my third class.
Cool. Some of mine are like not necessarily classes, but other things.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to the vendor room. And mostly because I'm really excited to see what new things Zaheroux or Megan Weber. She's an artist, and if you follow the Instagram, you will see that I use a lot the Animalis Os Fortuna tarot deck, and that is the tarot deck that Megan did. She's an incredible artist, and I'm hoping that she'll have some new stuff. I have an order in from a girlfriend of mine who really, really likes her. She's bought multiple prints in the last year or two that she's decorated her house with, and so I'm under orders that if there's something new, I'm supposed to text it and send her, because she might want me to pick it up, kind of thing. So I really enjoy the vendor room, seeing like who's there and hoping that there's new stuff and different stuff. There's some vendors that I really appreciate seeing year after year. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Megan.
Yeah, Jackie Smith too in the vendor room.
Yeah, Jackie Smith is in with her Coventry Creations candles.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm looking that in the vendor room and the art room. I really like those.
The art room's fun.
Mm-hmm.
So my next one is Elisheva.
Elisheva.
Mm-hmm. Okay, whatever. Hebrew? Is that?
She's originally from Israel.
Yes,
she lives in America now, but
she has when you think Hebrew, you think Jewish, but that's not really the case. And she had some very interesting classes last year, and this year she's doing a 2-parter on neo-tribal ethics, and talking about different tribal ethics, why you need them, why they work, how they help spiritual groups come together and stay together. Mm-hmm. So that's a 2-parter. So I'm really cheating because I'm doing two-part classes.
Well, no, I mean, that's cool. I was super excited to see her come back. Her classes last year were pretty popular.
Extremely informative.
I don't remember if she did more than the 2, but I was definitely at 2 of her classes.
I think she's doing 3 this year, because she's doing another one on women in the Hebrew traditions or something like that.
Mhm. She was amazing. She's a great speaker. She's very learned. She took me on a crazy ass ride last year after convocation, sparked by, her one class.
Yeah, very
And
informative.
I
Very
enjoyed
good.
her.
I like her a lot.
enjoyed her
I
a
wish
lot.
my mother could meet her because she talks about a lot of things that are in the Old Testament, and my mom just is very insistent about talking about the Bible with me, and I think that they would have a really good conversation.
She's very informed when it comes to the Canaanite pantheon and all of that time period and things like I super enjoy her.
Yeah,
I will hopefully make it to at least one of her workshops because I like her a lot.
So good.
Yes. So another strong point that I'm kind of digging and can't wait for is a workshop that is called The Modern Witch by Devin Hunter and Jackie Smith. This is going to be a Friday class from 2 until 3. So we're trying to give you some of the times. So if you're interested, you have a point of reference. But if you follow anything here, you know that Jackie, we're a fan. Many of us are fans of hers. And Devin Smith is another new guy that came last year that I really enjoyed his style too. His style, he's a younger gentleman, so his style is very refreshing. And it reminds me a great deal of Christopher Penzak.
Yeah.
So this class is talking about what do you need for that spell. So they take a look at some old school classic spells and show you how to bring them into the 21st century. So this could be really interesting, I think.
So.
And I of course love Jackie's style. So to see the two of them presenting together, I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah.
So
there's 2 on Saturday that I wanted to talk about, and they're at the same damn time. Of course they are. One is What's My Spell by Jackie. So it's going to go through, a book of spells as a guide, but what can you do to bring that magic off the page and be practical about it? What can you do to improv your magic? So that looks really, really interesting. And the other one, I don't see right away, but it's a Geraldine Mystic.
Oh, I like her.
I like her too.
I like her a lot.
We've seen her at a couple of, she's been to the Pagan Pride in Lansing before, and she's very good. There's several classes that I would like to take, but unfortunately some of them.
You have to make a choice, and that's just unfortunately what happens. Okay, so the last thing on my list is a workshop called Why I Viking.
Oh yeah, that looked good.
And this is by Cathy and I. And so this is talking about the path of the Viking, and it's talking about how men and women are equal, and you follow a path of the gods, and you don't come crying when you break a nail. It sounds like it's going to be talking about ancestors and how you respect them and the gods, and how family is your highest priority. So this, I'm assuming, is her personal path and how she works it. And so I'm intrigued by this because let's face it, I've been looking at a lot of Viking and Norse things recently. I'm not interested in identifying as heathen or as an Asatru. And so what does that mean for me as a witch? And things of that nature. So I'm hoping to gain some insight from that particular class about that.
Right.
So
sounds interesting.
Yeah. So those are some high points that we're looking at.
I mean, and I think the biggest thing that we enjoy at ConVocation is the community and the fellowship, because everybody who is there, while they're all walking different paths, they all have something in common. They're not your usual book religion follower. Everybody has an alternate way of looking at things and of believing, and it's important to get that communion,
Right.
because we as pagans don't.
Right.
Mostly.
It's a nice, safe place
Yes.
where you know that while everyone there doesn't follow your same path, doesn't have exact your same beliefs, you know that they are going to be open.
Right.
And there, you know, and there's there's an opportunity for dialogue, and that you can learn from someone.
Right.
And so that's super exciting for me. And I know I've talked about this before, and it is a recharge for me.
Yes.
In my practice. I come home and Carrie or the roomie calls me a bit of a vampire, because I come home and I'm super excited and I tell her about everything, and by the time I'm done, she's tired. She's wiped out. So
yeah. So another thing I know we've mentioned in previous years is it's very important to do some kind of shielding when you go, if you go to an event like this, because our first few years, we were totally wiped out at the end of every day.
Yes.
There's
like
so
laid out
much,
on our bed.
So much coming at you, so many different energies and vibes and everything going on. It's important to do some self-care to avoid the overload,
Right.
or the overdrain, or
Right.
you know, whatever.
Definitely.
It's very important.
Another thing that two things I want to mention. The first one is there's been in recent years this reminder, or this, I'm not even sure exactly how to phrase it, but if you're new to coming to ConVocation this year, then I want to caution you that there is this movement, I don't know, this respect, let's call it, for personal boundaries. I don't have a whole lot of personal boundaries. If someone wants to hug me, I'm down.
Right, but
Kind
not
of a thing.
everybody feels
But
that
not
way.
everybody is. And so there's been this general kind of call for respect to be mindful and ask for a hug before just taking it.
Right.
You know, and that makes sense. We as having ownership over our bodies, have the right to say who we want to touch us and who
Right.
not to touch us.
Right.
So,
And I think that a lot of people in the pagan community have been hurt or damaged in some way, and some people are not open to being touched by people they don't know.
right.
And some of them not even by people they do know. So
Right.
it's important to not impede and
Yeah, be respectful of their personal space.
yes.
So that's the first thing. The second thing is kind of feeding off that, and me saying, I don't mind being hugged. If you see us there,
Hey, come up and hug us.
come up and hug us and let us
Right.
know and say, hey Helen, hey Cathy,
Right.
I watch, or I listen, or I do this.
I mean, we would be more than happy to sit down and have a chat, or do a picture, or
Right.
you know, whatever.
For sure, yeah.
I mean, we don't do signatures yet.
Oh, please. We're not that big. Don't
No.
even.
No.
So yeah, if you see us, if you happen to be a viewer of the channel and see us, please say hello. I know that there are quite a few people from Michigan out there that listen, Michigan and the surrounding areas. So if you see us, then we invite you to come up, say hello, introduce yourself. I watch the show or listen to the podcast or whatever it is.
Right.
So please do that. So
Yes.
That's it.
Okay,
Do you
that's
have
it. So
That's all I got to say about that.
you're hilarious. So if you learned something, please like us. If you haven't already, please subscribe.
Yes.
If you have a question about something, or if there's something that we should cover that we're not covering on anything that we're podcasting or videoing, please let us know. You can put a message below or send us an email at
heartofthewitchespath@yahoo.com.
Helen's pretty active on Instagram at
Heart of the Witch's Path at Instagram or whatever it is.
I have started Instagramming my
Tarot.
God, thank you.
Your daily
challenge.
tarot.
So my address is at Slays Vamps. Yes, I said Slays Vamps. Helen will put the link below so that
Sure.
you know how to spell it. Yes, I know it's strange. It's okay.
It's not strange. It's who you are.
It is who I am. That's just the way it is. So
Right.
I
think that's about it. I think that's about it. Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
So that's going to wrap it up for this.
Look, we're a half hour.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So
Yay.
that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks for listening, and thanks for tuning in, and thanks for walking the path for a little while with us. Until next time, blessed be.